Hello everybody. Thank you for all the questions you submitted to my Q&A. And now, here is my response video, answering your questions. Of course, you did well to do the 3-question rule, but there were just one exception, which I have included, but I will just omit just one question. So, let's get to it, but before we do that, firstly, a birthday message from Lexi John Henry, as well as his questions.
Yeah, Steve, I've heard you doing another Q&A, and this around your birthday of all places. Happy birthday, dude! And for this, you'll also catch a departure of 425. Peace. Well, just departing behind me, I just want to wish you my best birthday wish as I can, and I hope you're having a great time, okay? You're born in 1997, so if I judge that correctly, you're now 29 years, Steve. So yeah, happy 29th. I hope you're going strong, and as I've seen you do, and I don't know what else to say much, except that you're a great friend. It has always been cool working together with you, especially on this one Christmas project we did, this Thomas and Friends Christmas project. I am especially happy we made this one. So yeah, my best thanks again, and yeah, I know I'm rambling a bit, but I'm just so excited to be finally having completed my goal and been gone to Kaiserslautern for the first time that I can remember, at least. And after that, because for everyone who doesn't know, we're doing a project currently for Train Sim World reviews. Because Steve plans to review the route between Mannheim and Kaiserslautern. He extra purchased this route for me, so that we can review it together. Because I will do IRL, basically, what you could say, IRL comparisons to what he has on the sim, just as a quick nutshell review, so that you know. So I'll be excited for that as well. But focusing back on Steve's birthday for a moment, because he does the Q&A around the same time. It's a birthday Q&A, at least from what he said. So I also have questions, of course. He allowed me to ask 3 questions. Kehrweiler in the background. The unit's name is Kehrweiler for context, for those who don't know how the Deutsche Bahn works. Anyway, my first question is, what's your opinion in comparison to the TV series version of Rebecca versus my AU of her? Second, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy working together with me? I hope it's high. And my third question is, of course, because you once said you're likely to visit Germany at some point in the future, if you visited, would you actually visit the Palatinate area, like around Neustadt Weinstraße or something? Because this is around the area where I live, and it's also beautiful. I really love that.
Well, it's hard to say really, but both versions of Rebecca are quite cute. They just show what a nice engine she is, really, and that she was not really like just a girl for the sake of being a girl inserted in BWBA. Well, you should also check my own version of Rebecca, who has a real love for sheep, if you've seen Rebecca's Woolly Friends. Right. So for your second question, I'd say 8.5. I mean, yes, it is high. I mean, it has helped me with developing new techniques and filming in other ways in trains, and also put my creativity and following instructions to the test. It really has been quite an experience. And also, I would go to the Pfalz region in Germany, but for when I'm going next year, I'm thinking of staying in Cologne or Köln. So, but I might go to Heidelberg if I can do that. And hopefully, Deutsche Bahn don't pull a Deutsche Bahn on me. If you know, you know.
Eine Information zum ECE 2152 nach München Hauptbahnhof fällt heute aus. Grund dafür ist, dass der Lokführer keine Lust mehr hat. Wir bitten um Nichtentschuldigung.
Mafrek asks, what TSW route or locomotive are you most looking forward to? Do you think you'll ever come to Japan for a visit? What TSW reviews are you planning to come? What TSW reviews are you planning to come next? Well, to be honest, I'm most looking forward to the Czech route, Liberec to Stara Paka. That because, well, it's different, and I've had a bit of an interest in Czech railways, but if I was to go for the more usual in UK, Germany, or the USA, I'd say the Preston to Crewe by Just Trains, and of course the Neckartalbahn by Trains in Germany, because of course we're also getting a steam engine again. I'm also to the Cumbrian coastline. On that, I reckon that they Just Trains didn't survey further than Whitehaven because of course the Corlicker Tunnel is under repairs at the moment, and they probably went to survey the track in current time as a reference for their 1986 setting, which is 40 years ago now. Will I go to Japan for a visit? Well, I'd like to, but then again, there's the problem of it being far away, and my biggest worry about going to Japan is being caught up in an earthquake and not being prepared for it. That's the earthquake factor. I know it's not Japan's fault. That kind of really puts me off going to Japan. And I've already stated what my next TSW reviews are. But the next one is going to be Stuttgart Heilbronn, and then it'll be either the GWE remaster or the Fensischer Ludwigsbahn with Lexi John Henry. And after that, I'm thinking of probably doing the Semmeringbahn. But of course, I will update as I go along. However I pronounce it. He asks, they ask, how did you get into the Thomas and Friends series? Well, having watched it as a kid and also having a brief nostalgia trip when I was like 10, but then eventually in my early 20s I came back into it. Blue Royal Hudson asks, do you like any American steam engine? Yeah, I do like a few American steam engines to be totally honest. One of my favourites would be the Norfolk and Western 611, or as I call her, Nora. Now that would probably be her name if she appeared in Thomas and Friends, called Nora. That's just one example. Jeremiah8677 asks, since you may humanize Thomas characters with Kisekai, have you ever thought of humanizing other characters beside the girls mostly? Thoughts on Driver Joe since he watched your YouTube poops? When did you start making music of your own? I know I kind of did the Sodor Girls in sort of like anime style. I might still do some stuff with them. It's a sort of, well, because of response to All Engines Go, wanting to imagine more anime characters, but the Sodor Girls, if you know what I mean. I'll show you, this is what they look like on screen now, in case you haven't kind of missed them. Of course, my old files are on my old computer, but I have managed to transfer the codes onto my new computer. Well, Driver Joe hasn't reacted to any of my newer poops lately. I don't know why, but it's rewarding in a way and satisfying when someone like him reacts to my YouTube poops. I just hope that he will react to some more of my YouTube poops that he hasn't done yet. I think he's probably trying to diversify or something. I've been making music on my own for a good number of years. Wardhouse TV asks, what are some of your favourite original hilarious stories you've done? I don't exactly know what you mean. But I'll just pick out one from random. Payback Sir Fluffy. Because chinchillas. That was when Flora, this Great Waterton station master, had an idea of getting back to James for insulting Bob and Dave, the station master's two chinchillas. And of course, Ross Pope, the station master of Great Waterton, got into contact with other chinchilla owners on Sodor, and well, Harry the Media Dude 24 asks, what was your first piece of Thomas Home media? Out of all the OCs you've created, which one is your favourite? If you could drive any engine of your choice, what would it be? Well, it would be one of these, to be quite honest, it would be one of the VHS sets I had as a baby, and a little kid, and I can't quite remember what they were. They were definitely VHS sets. It was just so long ago now. Out of all the OCs you've created, which one is your favourite? Which, do you mean, Isekai OCs or TTE OCs? I'd say I'll do both, just to be fair. I'd say it'll be either Ivana or Maria, and for the Thomas and Friends side, it'll be Wolfgang, the Austrian electric locomotive. Servus! If I could drive any locomotive, I think it would be a Class 45 Peak, for some reason. Ready to Engine asks, what are any non-Thomas memes you've kind of laughed at? Now you're getting me thinking. Sorry, I can't think off the top of my head, but I have. Doug's Film TV 9810 asks, if you had to do an origin story of a Thomas and Friends character, which character would you choose? What do you think of the 2026 Thomas merchandise, and what do you think the show would look like? What do you think of the 1983 Down the Mine pilot? Well, I'd say Edward. The 2026 merchandise, well, there seemed a bit of a weird mix between the classic and All Engines Go. I'll wait and see what the new show looks like, but, I'm holding my expectations. And Down the Mine pilot, yeah, I really liked it. It was very interesting to see how it was done before Season 1 was aired. And of course, if you've seen my YouTube poop and my verbose narration of it. Harry Harris D2Q asks, what's your favourite video that you've made? Railway series or TV series? Well, I'd say the one I put the most effort into was The Great Heat Wave. That was like my opus magnus. Well, it's nearly been 4 years since I've done that, and it was kind of fitting that there was kind of a drought that year as well, the year I made it. So, railway series or TV series? Well, they both have their own strong points really, so for more realism it is the railway series, and for having it more in a more friendlier format, it's the TV series. Island of Sodor Films 8712 asks, thoughts on Theodore Tugboat? Have you ever watched Shining Time Station? Favourite Thomas movie? Theodore Tugboat? No. Sorry. Probably just little bits of it, because I'm not American, I'm British. It was primarily made for American audience, so I can't really say anything about it. My favourite Thomas movie, Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure. I mean, that was peak. Ugh, what my phone? Some Read S Mastered asks, what was your least favourite song, like when the music's playing, when it comes to playing a guitar? How would you pronounce this? What is something made you confused? I don't know really. Let me see. It'll be Chlan Fire Poo I only parts of it from the top of my head. Clan Fire Pearl and Fantasy or Go Go Go. Probably sorry if I mispronounced it. Sorry, what do you mean? Corey the ATSF Connie asks, if you'd visit any American museum, what would it be? Will you ever do a Let's Play of Legends ZA? We must go. The brutes have our scent. Well, I think it would be one of the biggest, that big museum in New York. Or if you mean railroad museums, it would probably be the B&O Museum. No, that's not my thing, really. Sorry, I don't get it. Mr. Great Western Railway Productions asks, do you play Train Sim World? Are you planning to make more Thomas videos? What games do you play? Isn't it already obvious I play Train Sim World? I'm reviewing content. Of course I will be making more Thomas videos. Other than Train Sim World, it's Train Simulator Classic, Team Fortress 2, Left 4 Dead 2, Gary's Mod. I could go on. Anthony Valdez WF4MW asks, what's your favourite Thomas and Friends DVDs looks like? US or UK? How do you feel about the new playset? Who is your favourite narrator in Thomas and Friends? Well, only really it'll be the UK one, because obviously that's where I'm from. Sorry, what new playset? Can you clarify and I'll reply in the comments. Well, it would be, obviously Michelangelo's, but specifically him in the classic era, but because I think from seasons 8 to 16 he kind of goes a bit stale really, and not really what he was in the classic series. Your bro 9167 asks, next time you go to Beverly Minster, can you do the Beverly Minster clock challenge from inside if possible? What's your favourite church to do bell ring at? What's your favourite train from Thomas the Tank Engine and any other series? Well, depends if I decide to go to Beverly again. I mean, this time I might do a bit more exploration of Hull. Well, wait, that's where the Beautiful South came from. I think I'll probably do that, so, well, it would be somewhere with a 12. I mean, probably Bradford Cathedral, or I could go ring at Halifax Minster again, although I haven't done so for a while. I'm wanting to ring at York Minster sometime, but that hasn't happened yet. Of course, it's Edward. Or Bill and Ben. Jacob Dreamworks 921 asks, do you watch The Good Place on Netflix? Do you insert the laughing policeman jokes into your YouTube poops? Do you like Tobias and the Half Pariah and Tobias and the Arcane Merchant? Well, no, we don't do Netflix, and I'm quite frankly not bothered with Netflix. That's just me personally. Yes, I did do the laughing policeman joke in my YouTube poop. It was when it was in Gordon Loses His Willy.
At the big station, the trucks laughed at him.
No, I have no interest in the Tobias series, to be honest. Blue Track Stacks 2001 asks, will you include characters from Vocaloid, Sailor Moon, Inuyasha, Evangelion, Urusei Yatsura, and Maison Ikkoku in your videos? Do you watch any shows from Marathon Media? Do you like Miraculous Tales of Ladybug or Cat Noir? The answer to all of those is no. But I did do for Urusei Yatsura, I did do mauling Norman in that Fireman Sam YouTube poop. I don't know why. Train Ninja 21 asks, what's your favourite music band? What's your favourite train games other than Trains and Train Sim? Well, if I had to choose at the top of my head, it would be probably Green Day. What's my favourite game other than Trains and Train Sim? It would be Team Fortress 2. That's held a place in my heart for years and years and years. Trainspotter HW asks, will Kildane relearn his Dutch? Will Gerhard, German number E44, number E3, come to Sodor from Germany sometime? And will any other continental European locomotives visit from Sodor? Groetjes uit Nederland! I could do Kildane relearning his Dutch. I mean, yeah, I want to fully learn Dutch sometime, but of course I'm focusing on learning German at the moment, so that is something in the future. So Kildane can relearn his Dutch. I'm thinking I could probably do a video on it. And Gerhard, he might or he might not. Depends. I'm not sure, to be totally honest. I might do something, I might not. Although I could do a Dutch engine if Kildane is relearning his Dutch. But then again, do remember that the Culdifel Railway has the same voltage of electrification as Germany. Of the Netherlands at 1500 volts DC. Jason Robles Sembrano asks, can Colossus help you get rid of the vulgar diesels of mine? What do you think of my Walrus bus deviation on DeviantArt? Okay, I'll answer. Colossus, if you're meaning Transformers Colossus, well, I don't know. Well, if he can do it without BR getting on his ass. But as for Walrus, it's another portmanteau of Walter Alexander, the coach builder, and Dennis, who do the chassis. So Walter Alexander and Dennis mean Walrus. It was sort of me trying to come up with another bus name, if you know what I mean. Foreman's Enterprise Channel asks, are you going to do a Big Bertha episode? What other engines are you going to use in your videos, like the LMS Fury? Are you going to do more videos with Wolfgang? I don't know. Well, I've done a Big Bertha with Lexi John Henry, so we've done one with her in, and we are thinking of doing the LMS Fury, but it'll probably be more a rebuilt version, like an LMS Patriot, if anything. And natürlich, I will be doing more videos with Wolfgang in. Alan Beltran 375 asks, favourite Thomas song, favourite Thomas merch, favourite pizza topping? It would be probably Really Useful Engine. Just me think. Especially the version from Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Favourite Thomas merch? It would be the Orderto models. They were synonymous with the classic series. They bring back so much memories. And favourite pizza topping? It would be pepperoni. Double DLQ 48600YT asks, when did you start uploading on YouTube? Do you like Thomas the Tank Engine? Do you like to play piano? Of course, it was originally back in 2009. And if you want more information of my original YouTube career, then go onto my channel history. And isn't it obvious I like Thomas the Tank Engine? Yeah, I can play piano, but I much prefer to play the pipe organ. It's obvious what I do on my second channel. Sodor Floof asks, if you could have a Thomas prop, what would it be? It can be multiple props. Goodness, you have me thinking now. I'd say it would probably be a Toby prop. I think there's just something so interesting about Toby's model that would make me want to have a prop and want to keep it safe. And I'm not going to do a Star Tugs Trust on him. I'm going to keep him safe. The Blue Grizzly A3 Productions asks, favourite Thomas character, favourite and least favourite Thomas episode, favourite franchises besides TTTE. Yeah, that would be, of course, Edward, as I've said before, or it would be Bill and Ben. I think my favourite episode will be Double Teething Trolls because I really love Derek. And my least favourite episode will, well, Edward Strikes Out. You think of nonsense. And when we're going about franchise beside TTT, it would be obviously Love Live. But then again, I know I'm a fan of Love Live, but I don't. But for one thing, I'm not a big fan of their shipping, the whole Yuri fan service of it all. Just saying. Immortal Empire's King 9168 asks, can I come up with a vulgar Diesel story for you? Who is your favourite character that you've used and written in your Thomas Train stories? What's the funniest laugh out loud video you've ever made? Well, no requests please, because I want to focus on my own ideas, and if I was doing everybody's ideas I wouldn't have time to do my own. It would probably be Wolfgang, considering how he's one reason why he's made me improve my German, actually learn it, not do like a half-assed version of German which is broke, which was my back in 2023. And I've done a lot of funny videos. It'll be hard to pick one. I'd say it'll be one of my YouTube poops. Gordon's Filthy Arsehole.
What's this, Gordon? Toilet Day?
Ex-Herzog 1973 asks, how did you learn German? Have you ever visited Austria? And I'm just admitting one. What does more the more mean? And where does it originate? Well, my dad learned a bit of German when he was around about my age, but of course he didn't learn the full language, so I started learning a bit when I was 40. And then I stopped for many years, and now within the last few years I've decided to learn it again and really get into the more nitty gritties of the grammar and vocabulary and all that. I haven't visited Austria yet, but what I might do, I could stay in Munich and then I could get the train over to Salzburg or alternatively to Innsbruck. That would probably be something I might do. And what does more than more mean? And where does it originate? Well, so I've brought my guitar over, and to my 4 to 5 year old ears it sounded like more the more. Right, I'll do both together. More the more. And that's the origin of more the more. It was in Thomas VHS, but somehow I began to associate it with Fireman Sam. I don't know why. You can see that in my YouTube group. Fireman Sam blows up Bella's TV. But basically, that's from that came the origin of more the more. Just like that. Oh! Oliver the Great Western Engine asks, how many churches have you been to? What year did you move to Skipton? When have you made your first Thomas and Friends video? Well, it's too many to count, I can tell you. I've visited churches since my childhood. It's given me a lifelong interest in churches. It was 2013 when we moved to Skipton. We moved around a lot in the north of England, and even a brief stint in Cambridgeshire, or technically Huntingdonshire. But I was born down the valley, so I am from this area originally. My first Thomas and Friends video was, of course, back in late 2018, so you'll have to look back in my channel for that. Justin Durate 7174 asks, will you make a story of ANZGAKR Cast 0949 crashing into Diesel 10? No chance. That'll be too insensitive, knowing what happened to the engine. And that's about that for my answers. Thank you all for your questions. I answered as many of those as I can, so I might do another Q&A sometime in the future. And well, if you didn't ask me any questions, of course I had nothing to answer to. So thank you very much. This is TB76 signing off, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.